Sup my awesome mad lads, my name is Mad Dog and welcome back to another What If Fnaf collab with food conglomerates or other particular venues. This is episode 5 finally of this series and today we're going to be doing something a little bit more fun. Of the last 4 episodes I did, we only mainly specifically viewed upon when it comes to fast food conglomerates or whatever food conglomerates are there. But this time we're going to be just sticking to just regular venues, as you can obviously see in the title that I have been putting in previously, like in the last 4 episodes. What is one of the most important values that I want to ask you that when it comes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? Entertainment. Food is probably just one aspect of the entire franchise of Fazbear Entertainment as a whole, even though technically speaking that they really are very bad at doing their jobs every single time, no matter what location you're in. But entertainment is also another source of that Fazbear Entertainment at least provides. Now, what kind of entertainment am I talking about exactly? Well, you got a few things. You got music, you got games. Sometimes you may have rides, for example. So yeah, a lot of things to consider when it comes to not apart from just being food as being the main source of Fazbear Entertainment. You got a few of those things as well. And what kind of better way and location to talk about with the next collaboration I was thinking about was this. Who remembers Timezone? Now, for those who actually don't really know, Timezone is actually an area where it's basically kind of like of an arcade slash also involves with laser tag. And it's a venue specifically that is also, of course, along with food, playgrounds, and also an event especially dedicated for those who wants to have birthday parties there. And there was only one location specifically that I could possibly ever think about when it comes to mind, specifically with Timezone. The perfect location of the perfect Fazbear Entertainment area that could possibly collaborate with Timezone would obviously have to be Security Breach. Security Breach itself is, of course, the massive Pizza Plex area in all of the Fazbear franchise, including as Fnaf as a franchise as well. You know that when it comes to the Pizza Plex, it is massive. It is not just only a place to have food, it also involves with places that involves with games, music, and of course, again, is a place that it involves with birthday parties. And also, the cherry on top of this is that, guess what? It also includes laser tag, the Phaser Blaster. And since that Timezone has exactly that, I think it's pretty obvious that the Glamrock animatronics would be a perfect fit for this scenario. Now, of course, I'm talking about Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Glamrock Foxy, Monty. Those, of course, will be the 4 main guests of honor in when it comes to this so-called collaboration, if it were to technically happen. And to be very honest, I'm pretty sure that back in the day, a few of our favorite FNAF creators did mention that Scott Cawthon was thinking about creating like a FNAF theme park. So it has kind of like of a laser tag where you have to shoot animatronics specifically before they actually jump scare you. Now, this was, of course, a very, very long time ago, and this was pretty much old news back in the day, and it never really came to pass. Which is unfortunate because that would have actually given us the chance to actually get that kind of experience. But then again, as you know, when it comes to Scott Cawthon, it's very valid to what he says. He doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to have the exact same incidents that pretty much happen along with the games. And that is fair. Like, to be fair, that makes sense. But look how far that FNAF has actually come now finally. Thanks to the movies, we actually get to see FNAF themed like locations based on the movie sets. They've done the FNAF 1 location, plus along with a few restaurants that basically have FNAF themed food. And probably sooner or later, we're probably going to get like the FNAF 2 location from the FNAF 2 movie, specifically from Hollywood or even at like Las Vegas or something. They've already got the animatronics, all the sets there ready. They can literally build something like that in terms of doing something like this. But anyways, before I actually get off track, let's go back into the time zone area. But yeah, I am being serious when I say that the Glamrock animatronics on Security Breach would be the perfect way to go if collaborating with Timezone. Now, being of the fact that Glamrock Freddy is a good guy, he could probably help you out maybe in a few certain areas, maybe like as a guide in particular. Maybe not just physically as the bear, because I don't think you'll be able to fit into his stomach hatch for those who are probably older than you are. But you could at least probably have Kellen Goff, which is basically the voice actor of Glamrock Freddy, if that were to possibly happen, just to be able to get to be your guide in order to, you know, defeat the opposing team, and to, maybe even have bosses for like a laser tag or something like that. And of course, I'm talking about the bosses would have to be Montgomery Gator, Glamrock Chica, or even Glamrock Roxy. And as much as I also want to see like a freaking Glamrock Bonnie be around, except without being wrecked this time, that'll be pretty cool. But maybe the main boss could also potentially be Glitch Trap, even though technically Burn Trap. Even though technically speaking that Burn Trap is not really canon into the Security Breach game, it's still a possibility that you could actually make him as a boss along with the Blob too. And just a little bit of scariness to it, you could add in Sun or Moon, depending on the implications of when he has light on him, it will be Sun, and if you don't shine any light on him, he will have to turn into Moon, and you have to slash your light on him again. I don't know about the same thing when it comes to Eclipse, because Eclipse is technically a good guy as well, so if there's like a bit of an extra reward to reboot him or something like that, maybe it will probably give you extra points to the game. I'm not too sure. Speaking of Sun and Moon, to be honest, I did say that they were going to be fitting more to the laser area, because if I put them into a child play care center or something like that, just like they did with the daycare, I don't know, it doesn't feel very natural, and plus, we don't want the freaking kids to be scared to death, by the way, because, as you've seen in some of the files, a lot of kids were just absolutely traumatized, specifically in the game's lore of Security Breach. So, yeah, I think Sun and Moon would be a hard pass on that on the play care center, and maybe just put them as, like, obstacles in the way for, like, laser tag, I think, for Timezone. Adding Vanny along with it too could be a bit of an interesting opportunity, but do not have someone in a costume because that would be a bit stupid, to be very fair. Just have like an animatronic version of the costume and just try to do, stuff with it or something like that along the lines, just to, shoot her, to make sure that, she doesn't do anything sneaky on you or something like that. And also, the same with the Glamrock endoskeletons. I mean, that's a possibility to also add in as well. It will be kind of creepy if you add in, the weeping angel effect. If you turn around, like, in real life, and then you look back at them, they do come close every time when you look away. That will be kind of creepy, but kind of cool as well, but maybe a bit too much creepiness is in there, which to be honest, I don't think I like that myself either. Now, if you're also thinking about having DJ Music Man be part of the gang, that will also be another good choice as well, because considering the fact that how big that DJ Music Man is, it will probably be very hard to actually put him somewhere in a laser tag area. And even also prefer to calling him as a boss, he's more of a good guy rather than a bad guy. And you could probably do it as maybe as like some sort of video game, mini game that you can actually do to try to match up music with him, doing a DJ battle with DJ Music Man. Kind of the same thing that's very similar to Help Wanted 2 when you do the DJ Music Man mini games. The Mini Music Man, on the other hand, can be a bit of a different story, as you know that they are pretty goddamn scary, and I am not a huge fan of them. I hate them so much with my entire life that, man, I just want to freaking just smash them to smithereens. Like, I kid you not, these little guys are terrifying. And boy, would they were a struggle for me, especially when I was doing Security Breach Ruin at the time. So yeah, adding those guys to freaking, Timezone, oh jeez. Yeah, I don't know how much I can cope with that. Now, in terms of food specifically, if we want to go straight into that kind of thing, for example, for a second, you could probably have some of the, the Security Breach inspired food areas that were pretty much also like in Security Breach as well, which was also basically back related in Help Wanted 2, especially when you were doing the food service minigames, like L Chips, for example. Or the movie theater comedy place that's pretty much around somewhere in the daycare center, where you basically have to go a few rooms down. Or even the canteen area, which is basically pretty much the most empty part of the place regardless of what the hell it is. So yeah, might want to be careful on that one. But especially when it comes to the type of foods themselves that they actually give you in the minigames in Help Wanted 2, is actually a pretty good way to actually sell off some stuff to actually promote the food themselves, so make it like a limited time or something like that, or just have it there whenever there's like a collaboration with Security Breach. Security Breach itself, if they were to actually collab with Timezone to make it look like it's like a Pizza Plex itself, would be very, very cool. Not that I'm saying that it would have to be absolutely massive, but to a point that at least has the kind of sort of same vibes that you get with Timezone alone. Man, especially when it comes to the Phaser Blaster itself, I think it's pretty obvious. And plus, you can also make it actually the Phaser Blast minigame itself just like in the games, if I'm being completely honest with you. You see, if you actually remember playing the original Security Breach game, you basically actually have to go into a few different bases and actually shoot a bunch of staff bots. And once you actually complete the wave of staff bots, or before they can actually get to the base, you actually win and then progress to find the next base. And once that happens, once it's finally over, you actually win the game. This is something that I almost forgot to mention about this, because I knew that this was actually a probably good opportunity to actually utilize a game like this along to the original Timezone's laser tag, which, to be fair, I feel like that would actually work pretty good as well. There is just so much fun indicating when it comes to Timezone. Entertainment, food, and all. Especially if you add in all these characters specifically mostly the Glamrocks. Man, it'll just soul the eyes of people all around, and bro, they will 100% be able to go there. But like I said, this is just an idea that I just came up with. Of course, it's not going to really happen officially. But it is good to see that something like this could be a possibility, just having to think about these sort of ideas, and who knows, maybe sometime in the future, it could possibly happen. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Security Breach is actually the best collaboration to do with Timezone specifically? Do you think that they would actually have, the Glamrocks around at least, specifically as the main cast in Timezone, for example, and along with having the events such as, laser tag and all that stuff? Let me know if I've missed out on anything in particular, because I might have probably missed out on a few other things in particular as well, so let me know that in the comments down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell to never miss a video. And as always, my name is Madog, and let your days be mad and rad!